Today's video is all about vanilla. What do I mean by that? I mean, we're going to be making 2 different variations of vanilla extract. I'm going to show you how to do that. We're also going to make some vanilla salt, which would be amazing on top of chocolate chip cookies, lightly salted with a little bit of vanilla in there. And I'm also going to show you how to make vanilla sugar. So there's something for everyone in this video, whether you need to make vanilla for cooking and baking, or if you want to have it for sugar in your coffee or your tea, or if you want to add the salt and the vanilla over top of those delicious chocolate chip cookies. So let's get into today's video, and I'm going to show you how to do all of that right now. But first, before we do, don't forget to hit subscribe down below and hit the dinger so you get notifications when our next video comes out, because I don't want you to miss a thing. So, as I'm sure you're aware, vanilla extract has gotten really expensive. So this is going to help you save money and have even better quality vanilla by making it at home. The thing you need to do is start with a good vanilla bean. That's going to be your investment, but it's going to be so much more affordable and so much more delicious than buying it already pre-made. There's a whole bunch of different kinds of vanilla beans. I'm personally using the Madagascar vanilla beans because I like the flavor profile on it. It's rich and it's creamy, and that's the one that's usually in vanilla extract. There's other ones that you can use as well, and feel free to have fun with it if there's a different one that you like the flavor of. Personally, I like the Madagascar bean, and that's the one that I'm going to use to infuse all of these. You're gonna wanna make sure that you get them from a reputable supplier, because you wanna make sure they're still oily on the outside and fresh relatively, even though they're dried beans. You don't wanna get these at the grocery store because they're gonna be really dried out and you're not gonna be able to get any of the paste out, and it's going to be really frustrating. So, you don't need to get grade A beans for this. You can get grade B beans for this. Because we're infusing it in the different things, you don't need to worry about grade A. So grade B is gonna save you a little bit of money. So I also wanna let you know that I ordered an ounce of vanilla beans, and you might be, what's an ounce of vanilla beans? Well, in my package, an ounce of vanilla beans turned out to be 22 vanilla beans. So that gave me an idea of how I was going to use my vanilla beans and where I was gonna put them. So the first thing that I've done is I've separated all of the beans into the different piles for each one of my things. The reason I've separated them is because some of these beans are thin and small and don't have a lot of paste in them. So I need some paste for the sugar, I need some paste for the salt. Some of them are bigger, some of them are smaller. So I tried to balance them out into groups of what I thought would be good for each one of the things that I was doing. We're going to make vanilla extract. The thing is you're gonna need some alcohol for that. The most common alcohol that's used for making vanilla extract is vodka, rum, and sometimes bourbon. My main extract is going to be with the vodka because the vodka doesn't add any flavor to the vanilla, and it's gonna give you a pure vanilla flavor. But I also really do like bourbon, so I'm definitely gonna make some vanilla with bourbon. You can make whatever sounds good to you and whatever you have at home. You also don't need to spend a lot of money on the alcohol portion because it's going to end up being vanilla anyways. So you can pick up an affordable bottle of vodka, rum, or bourbon, whichever you'd like, and it's going to work perfectly. So the first vanilla extract that we are going to make, I'm going to start with the vodka one. I'm going to use 16 ounces of vodka, and I'm going to use 7 vanilla beans. You can leave them whole or you can cut them in half. It's totally up to you what you want to do. You have to remember that they have to be covered. So depending on what size of a jar you use is going to determine if you're going to have them whole or you're going to have them cut in half. The other thing that you're going to want to do is use a glass jar, and you're not going to want to use anything metal. I like to use these plastic lids on top of the jar. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and slit all 14 of my beans before I put them into my jar. So you're gonna see where they curl. You're gonna want the bean to curl to the left side, and you're gonna slice them open. So now that I'm slicing all of these, I've cut some of them in half. I've left some of them whole. I'm definitely slicing all of them. so that the paste can be released into the extract. I'm gonna go ahead and put them into my glass jar. So now that we have the vanilla beans in the glass jar, like I said, you're gonna wanna make sure that you use a glass jar to infuse the vodka, and you're gonna wanna keep it in this glass jar for a minimum of 8 weeks. The longer you infuse it with the vanilla beans, the stronger the flavor. So if you don't have exactly 14 beans to put in here, then just think to leave it on the shelf for a longer period of time. A year, you're gonna have some amazing vanilla. I'm gonna go ahead and pour in the vodka now. Also, when it's ready, you can take a little bit out to cook with and add more vodka into it and let it steep, and you can have this for years. The first thing you're gonna wanna do for the 8 weeks is you're gonna wanna put the lid on it. You wanna store this in a cool, dark place, but you definitely don't wanna store it in the refrigerator or your beans in the refrigerator because that dries them out. But what you're gonna wanna do every day or every couple of days for the first 8 weeks is you're gonna wanna shake it up and down a few times. So I like to keep mine on the counter until the 8 weeks are up so that I remember to shake it and get it infused and going. After 8 weeks, you're ready to use it for an extract for your cooking, but the longer you keep it in there, the more intense the flavor it's going to be. I love to infuse mine for 6 months to a year. It just is so amazing. So that's just my personal preference, but the minimum is 8 weeks. And so next I'm going to do the bourbon. I'm just gonna do a little bit of the bourbon. So I'm gonna go ahead and use this little jar, which is about 6 ounces, and I'm gonna use 3 beans for the bourbon. So I've went ahead and I've sliced the beans and I've cut them in half because this jar is smaller. I'm gonna put them in there and I'm gonna go ahead and put my bourbon over top. And now that I have the lid on, I'm gonna go ahead and shake it. I added a little bit more than the 4 ounces because I'm gonna keep this stewing for about a year. All right, now we're going to do the salt. So for the salt, you do about 1/4 of a cup and 1 bean infused in the salt, actually the paste. But what I'm going to do, again, I'm gonna let this sit for a while, and the longer that the vanilla bean sits in any of these things, the stronger it gets. So I know that I'm not gonna be needing this salt anytime soon, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm not giving this as a gift, I'm using this to cook with. I'm gonna take the paste out of the 1 bean and I'm actually gonna put that and the bean inside. So if you're using the inside of the paste for cooking, don't throw the bean away. You can put it into your sugar or you can put it into your salt. It just won't be as strong as what we're doing today. So now that I have 1 bean and I've went ahead and done 1/2 cup, you can do 1/4 of a cup for it to be stronger, but I'm going to, like I said, I'm gonna use the paste and the bean in this one, so I'm not worried about it being a little less strong because I'm gonna have it sit for a while. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut the bean like I did the other ones. So now that I've cut the bean, I'm taking my knife and I'm scooping out the inside, the paste, and I'm putting that into my salt. Now that I have the vanilla paste in there, I'm gonna go ahead and take my fingers and I'm going to move it around in the salt so that it's evenly distributed. So now that I have that all mixed up, I'm gonna go ahead and place that in my jar. So now that I have the vanilla paste and the bean inside my salt, I'm gonna go ahead and shake it up just a little bit more. The longer you keep this in the jar, the more vanilla flavor you're going to have. You can keep this for years and the flavor is just going to get better and stronger and more delicious. I so can't wait to use this on my next chocolate chip cookie. The last and final infusion we're gonna do with the vanilla bean and the paste is the sugar. This one is to die for. This is also amazing on top of cookies, sugar cookies, chocolate chip cookies, different desserts. It adds an element of vanilla with the sugar. It's so good. So what you're gonna need is 4 vanilla beans for approximately 24 ounces of sugar. You're gonna wanna use regular granulated sugar. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna pour that into my bowl now. Now that I have my sugar in the bowl, I'm just gonna get rid of the lumps. So I'm gonna go ahead and slice these down like I did the other ones, and I'm gonna scoop out the vanilla paste. The longer it infuses, the stronger all of these get and the more delicious they get. Sometimes it's really hard to get all of the paste out, so sometimes I chop it into smaller little portions. so I can just get in there and get the paste out a little easier. I'm gonna save the bean, and that's gonna go in there as well, but I'm trying to get out as much paste as I possibly can. So sometimes cutting it into little small pieces and opening those pieces up and scraping that out helps. After you have all the paste in with the sugar, you're gonna go ahead and take your hand and you're gonna mix it all around evenly. Then I'm going to take my vanilla beans and put those into the paste too, because those are gonna add a ton of flavor. Now that I have the vanilla paste and the vanilla bean all mixed up, I'm gonna go ahead and put it back into my container. So now I have my sugar in my container and it's all ready to be infused with the vanilla. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a couple shakes, and when I think about it, I'll shake it up in the pantry when I see it. I'll continue to do that. As the weeks and months go on, the flavor of all of this is going to get that much more delicious. Now I've showed you how to make 2 vanilla extracts with 2 different alcohols, and I've showed you how to make vanilla salt and vanilla sugar. All of these are going to bring so much amazing vanilla flavor to your cooking. I know that you're going to love it. The best part about this is the flavor and the quality of the homemade vanilla that you are making is so much better than any grocery store vanilla that you could possibly purchase, and you're saving yourself money, a ton of money. So this is so great, and now that you've seen how easy it is to make, I know that you're going to be able to make some wonderful vanilla. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up and comment below and let me know what you end up making with your vanilla. Thank you so much for watching, and keep cooking.